Is new moon in Pisces. I am so excited to dive into this with you guys because this new moon in Pisces is it's not just a normal new moon. What this new moon in Pisces is all about is actually a beautiful opportunity for us to focus on welcoming a brand new fresh start into our lives. This is actually going to be the final new moon for the astrological year. And what I mean by that is just like how we have New Year's, we actually have an astrological new year in regards to the 12 zodiac wheel, the 12 signs in the zodiac wheel. So since we are in Pisces season, we are at the very end of March gonna move into Aries season, and March 20th, which is spring equinox, the very first day of spring, it's also what's known as the astrological new year. So this new year and the energy that is surrounding it, with 2025 in general too, this is a beautiful opportunity for us to really just go full throttle into our lives. And what this new moon is giving us an opportunity to do is to, again, we have a second shot at this, to create a blank new slate in our lives, to be able to go reap whatever it is that we want to get in our lives in total. So what this means for us, the energy of Pisces, and not to mention that it's a new moon. New moons are all about setting intentions, planting seeds, and going to go full throttle moving forward in our life. And it's not about looking back anymore. It's about, what can I do with the future that I have in front of me, and what can I create out of it? What can I do if I was the creator? If I stepped into the driver's seat of my life, what would I want my life to look like? This is what this new moon gives us an opportunity to be able to do, because not to mention, we are literally about to end winter very, very soon. So seasonally, we are about to step into a time of renewal, a time of rebirth, a time to connect more to what do we want in our life? What do we want to create for our future? And personally for me, I completely forgot to do this before I even started this live stream, but I did want to get my vision boards out here and show you guys like some things that I personally love doing on new moons. But specifically with the Pisces energy, it's all about creativity, and it's all about connecting to like your kindred spirit. It's about connecting to the energies that have to do with your heart, compassion, and giving yourself more self-love. And not to mention, as a facilitator for deep healing, like, this is the moon to do your healing work in. This is all about planting seeds for you to step into the most healed and empowered version of yourself. But in order for us to be able to welcome that newness into our life, we also need to shed some old skins. And since Pisces is the fish of the entire zodiac sign, and it's also the last zodiac sign in the wheel, what that means is that we're wrapping up our story. We're wrapping up our story of life and this last year of 365 days of this astrological year. We're wrapping it up and starting to get an opportunity to reflect back and ask ourselves, what did we get to gain through this experience? What did we learn? Who do we evolve into? Because after every single new astrological year, you are also stepping into a brand I was like trying to say two different things at once. We're also stepping into a much more newer version of ourselves, and we're shedding more skin. And it's like, you have to ask yourself, what parts of you that you're sitting with right now that you think the version of you from 1 year ago would not be able to recognize? And that's where you're going to get to see, like, what did you gain out of this year? And that's also a question we got to ask ourselves moving forward. What parts of ourselves do we want to release? And what parts of ourselves do we want to start embodying more of? Maybe there's parts of you that you used to hide away out of shame. How can we unlock that and make our uniqueness shine? Because Pisces, they accept it all. They're the sign that focuses on the collective. They focus on the collective and the consciousness of the collective. And they think about what's the best for the greater good and how can we help the world be a better place. Pisces is that sign that does that. Not to mention, guys, with the astrological things that are going on right now in the sky, we literally have what's called, if you guys do not know what this is, a stellium in the sky, which means that there is more than 2 to 3 planets in the same exact zodiac sign right now. And specifically, the planets that are inside the sign of Pisces right now is Saturn, Mercury, the sun, which is a star, but we call it a planet just to make life easier, the moon, and I believe there's one more, but I wrote it down because I knew I was going to forget this. Let me see. We have the North Node and Neptune. There we go. So what this means right now, this new moon is giving us an opportunity to go through some sort of spiritual awakening. It's giving us an opportunity for some sort of divine intervention to take place in our life. With this, what this means too, since there is this really, really grand stellium with the planet of responsibility there, the North Node, which means that it's our life purpose energy there, right? We are being guided, all of us as a collective right now, to focus and ask ourselves, like, who do we want to be right now? Who do we want to step into? And honestly, as suckish as this might sound, because there's a stellium inside the sign of death and rebirth and newness and originality and inspiration and flow and creativity, and like, whenever I think of Pisces, I think of like clouds, and I think of cotton candy, and I think of just like rainbows and butterflies, but also this weird groundedness energy to it at the same time. And in reality, like, they have this imagination that can just blow you away. They can take you away to some different world if they wanted to. And that's also why I love the fact that Pisces, the sign, and the animal that they chose to make it is a fish. Because if you think about it, under the sea, it's a completely different world than what's on Earth, than what's on land. And so their way of seeing life is very different, and they try to look at things from very different lenses and very different perspectives. So what we're being called to do because of the stellium that's going on in the sky right now is to start looking at our life from lenses and perspectives that we never really thought about looking at it before. And what that also means too is about flowing. Flowing is going to be an extremely, extremely important thing to be doing right now. Because we're definitely experiencing as a collective right now a lot of change. A lot of things that maybe feel like a smack in the face. Maybe things that we don't really want to accept or bring into our life, but we don't really have a choice. Pisces is the sign that encourages us to surrender into the present moment. It encourages us to want to breathe more and say, okay, I can't control everything, but what I can do right now is control how I react to it, control how much power my own power I give away to the situations in front of me, and I get to also control what I want to do right now. What do I want to do to handle this? What do I want to do to move through this with as much grace and as much trust in the unknown as possible? This is what this new moon is all about, and it encourages us to do just that. And let me see if there's anything else. Oh, okay. Not to mention, guys, when it comes to Pisces, every single zodiac sign in the wheel rules a specific part of the body. When it comes to Pisces, interestingly enough, like, I literally would have never thought about this, they actually rule the feet. And the reason why they rule the feet actually is very, very interesting. It's a really cool concept. So Pisces, they're the most dreamy, intuitive, like floaty-like sign there is out of all the zodiac signs. However, because they rule the feet, the reason for that is actually because we are all meant to embody the same qualities that Pisces has when it comes to being floaty, when it comes to being dreamy, when it comes to trusting and going with the flow, trusting, surrendering to the process or the way life unfolds for us, and kind of embracing the uncertainty. But we're supposed to do it in a way that's grounding. We're supposed to do it in a way that's planted into reality, that's tangible, in a way where we can breathe through it. And that's actually why I love the fact that Pisces rules the feet, because it's like the most, like I said, floaty, ethereal sign there is. But it's literally ruled by a body part that's literally making contact with the earth 24/7. With this sign is a fish, okay? It is not meant to make contact with land. But the fact that that type of energy is ruled by a body part that makes contact with land shows to us the importance of having our head and what's ever going on in there to stay rooted in reality, to stay rooted in what's really going on. Because with this as well, we might actually feel like we're kind of dozing off a little bit for the next couple of days. And what I mean by that is like, you might kind of catch yourself out of nowhere, like randomly, like dazing off into thought, or start thinking about random what if scenarios, or, you know, like if this were to happen to me, how would I react to it? Like you might get randomly paranoid. And in order for us to go back in and recollect ourselves right now, we are being called to root back into Mama Earth a little bit more. And I think one of the best ways for us to really embrace the energy of Pisces in this new moon is for us to do some dancing, is for us to do some yoga, is for us to do some stretching and just practice being more in the present right now. So whether that's literally giving yourself like 30 seconds to tap into all your senses. How can you like embody what it means to be human right now in this moment? Yes, after all, we're all freaking human. Like I'm not stupid. But what I'm saying is, have you ever been able to genuinely embody what it means to be human? Have you ever let yourself feel like right now, for example, this is a candle that I have lit next to me. I can literally feel the warmth of that candle hitting the side of my head. But sometimes in life, we forget those sensations that we have. We forget that we have fingers. We forget that there's colors around us. We forget that there's scents, and we forget that there's so much beauty to this world because we're so worried about what's going on up here. But what's up here, it doesn't have that much control over us unless we allow it to take that much control over us. That is exactly why Pisces is ruled by the feet. We gotta ground, baby, ground. Whenever you find yourself starting to float away up in the clouds, call yourself out. Say, oh, where am I? Am I on Earth or am I up in the clouds? How can I find a middle ground? You know, call yourself back home to yourself. Find that home inside yourself. And the only way to really do that is to let go of the things that are holding you back from being able to find that home inside yourself. It's really as simple as that. I know it's hard. Like, I don't want to call anyone out, but that's really how it's supposed to be. Let us see. Oh, okay. Last thing before we move into any more, the rest of the astrological things that are going on right now. So, because of all this stuff that I just mentioned regarding Pisces and how it's about welcoming new beginnings, but also allowing yourself to go through some death and shedding of skins, we are also being called to emotionally release right now and heal, okay? This has actually been an ongoing theme during the last two healing moon ceremonies that I did for a live stream. There was an ongoing theme with healing and in regards to the spiritual collective and like practicing more self-compassion and unconditional love. So I feel like it's very beautiful to see that there is a literal theme going on in the sky right above us with all these like crazy planets telling us, hey, you guys gotta start loving yourselves a little more. It's like humanity's being called right now to really do their work, do the inner work, do the inner healing, and step into their power. But it's really up to us whether we decide to take the call or not. And that's where it could get frustrating. All right. So now, all that aside, I mentioned that there was a stellium going on, but I did not share with you the last two pretty important astrological transits that are going on right now. And okay, this actually happened to me, this happened to my fiance, this happened to a friend that I have at the gym. We're all going through it. You guys are probably going through it too. Right now, the new moon that's in Pisces is squared, or in other words, experiencing a really bad tug of war, clashing issue with the planet Jupiter, which is actually in Gemini right now. What this means, Gemini is the sign of intellect. It rules the mind. And when the mind and Pisces, which is dreamy and intuitive and flowy, and it's about surrendering and trusting in the process, but Gemini is craving communication, logic, intellect, information. They're literal information machines. They just like to gather in knowledge. They just want to know what's going on. They want to be in control of that. They want to be in control of what could happen because they have all the information to know what's going to happen. These two different opposing, very opposite signs are clashing with each other, with the planet of Jupiter being the planet of abundance and expansion, right? Technically, Pisces rules Neptune and Jupiter. But because it's with Gemini in the mix, we're actually probably going to be experiencing for the next couple of days this tug of war going on with the need for more information versus just trusting what you already know to be truth within you. So what I mean by that is it might feel kind of like there is this weird, subtle, yet soft, somewhat of a inner knowing in you. Like it might feel like you already know something's gonna happen. Like it's like you might have these random bits of psychic vibes going on. And with the square situation going on with Jupiter, it's gonna make you kind of second guess it. It's going to make you say, oh, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen, or and Pisces is encouraging us to want to trust in that more. Pisces is encouraging us to surrender and trust in our intuition, even if those things might not make sense to us yet, which is why things can get a little bit not too fun there. You know what I mean? But because of this situation that's going on, I would encourage you guys to set intentions that feel right in your soul, not just in your mind. So when it comes to planting seeds for this new moon, I think the best way you guys can do that for yourself is to ask yourself, what is that gnawing, annoying thought that you know you gotta work on, but you're ignoring it? Maybe that should be your intention rather than something that just comes straight out of your head that you're thinking about. Because whatever you're thinking about is kind of going to clash with your intuition right now. And we want to make sure that everything you're doing is coming from the heart, not from anxiety. You know what I mean? So maybe you can even ask yourself to connect to this energy even more. Maybe this is something you've been experiencing all day, is ask yourself, what have I been overthinking, or what areas of my life have I been overthinking instead of trusting in? Because that's going to show to you right then and there that you are not listening to the heart in those moments. And it's not bad to overthink. It just means that you care. But then the heart is the thing that's got to reassure the mind that, because I care, I know that I will do that absolute best that I possibly can in this situation and not back down. The mind is the only thing that's going to try to make you second guess yourself. Remember that, guys. It's never the heart. It's always going to be your mind. All right. Secondly, Mercury, which is in, like I said, the sign of Pisces, is sextiling Uranus, which is in the sign of Taurus right now. What this means right now for us is we're going to be going through, or the theme for it has a lot to do with breakthrough ideas and feeling like you're getting some weird divine downloads going on right now. So you might feel a little bit more connected. You might feel a little bit more if you were all tarot readers, you would be great and just getting psychic message after psychic message after psychic message is what I'm trying to say. I'm just taking a sip of my tea. And because of this is Uranus is the planet of revolution, innovation. Think of intense breakthrough change. Think of being the black sheep of the herd and wanting to do things differently for a change. It's kind of like that. It kind of throws you off guard. You're like, whoa, I don't know what to do with this, but we'll see how it goes. That's kind of how Uranus, its energy is. But since it's sextile the moon, what this means for us is that we're very, very, very connected to our intuition right now. But what's really cool about it is maybe like, let's say you've been sitting on a thought and you're trying to figure out, like, let's say you're trying to brainstorm a book theme or whatever. Basically what these two planets do when they're interacting with each other is the more you sit on it, the more you trust, the more the less you like go really hard on yourself to try to figure it out, and rather just say like, okay, I'm gonna flow with it. Okay, I'm gonna trust in this. The more it'll actually end up coming to you when you least expect it. So right now, like, if you really want to take advantage of this, what I would encourage you guys to do is ask yourself, like, what intuitive message is trying to reach you right now? Because I swear to you, it might be something that you're resisting to hear right now that source has been trying to tell you for a long time. Because right now is where you're gonna feel like you're hearing the universe kind of whispering or even yelling at you right now. You just gotta listen. You just gotta listen. You just gotta listen. So again, right now or today, tonight, whenever you guys have time, perfect time for you guys to do meditation. I do not like meditation, but, you know, I had to say it because it's the best way to connect to it. All right. And let me see if there's anything else. Oh, this is very important, okay? Because I know a lot of you guys are not looking forward to this because I'm not looking forward to it. Venus is going retrograde, okay? Venus is going to go retrograde actually this upcoming Saturday, March 1st. And it's going to be going retrograde, meaning it's going, moving backwards, I think, right? Yeah, moving backwards in Aries, in the sign of Aries. Venus in Aries is very independent, okay? It's fiery, it's passionate. It's kind of like there's a childlike spirit to it where it'll just dive head first into it and not really think twice. Because it's going to be in retrograde, this is actually going to make us focus more on self-worth. So during the next couple of weeks, while Venus is in retrograde, you might feel like you're going to start reassessing areas in your life where you have lacked self-worth, and areas in your life specifically pertaining to your relationships, whether it be love life, friendships, family relationships, whatever it is, coworkers, I don't know, anyone. You're going to start asking yourself, do I feel worthy in this? Is this, am I doing things that align with my self-worth? Am I respecting myself during this? Like, it's going to make you start asking yourself a lot of questions. So normally when Venus retrograde comes around, this is why I don't really, it sucks, but it's necessary for everyone to grow, is we might find a lot of people going through breakups. We might find a lot of people going through just necessary change to help them evolve, ascend, and grow. And sometimes change sucks, and that's why I really wanted to let you guys be aware of it before Saturday comes up. Venus is going to be retrograde, okay? So just keep that in mind. This isn't bad. It's just going to be old patterns in love that might start resurfacing for healing. And this retrograde is going to show us where in our life we've been settling for less, okay? So everyone is leveling up whether you want to or not, okay? And I did forget to mention, Mars ended its retrograde 4 days ago. Mars is officially direct in the sign of Cancer right now. I'm so grateful for that because my natal Mars is in Cancer and I was going crazy for months. Now what you guys actually might be feeling, or maybe you just started noticing it within the last 4 days, is you're focused more on like maybe your home life, or you're feeling more connected to maybe something you've been putting off for the last couple of months that has to do with your emotional security or your home, or something to do with like feeling safe. That stuff might start coming back into your life and reintroduce itself, and you might not even realize it. Maybe it just started happening a couple days ago and you never caught it. Well, that's why, okay? With that, I am excited to dive into the tarot and oracle reading for this beautiful new moon in Pisces for you guys. Okay, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to not just do tarot today, but I was actually also going to do some oracle cards, and I intuitively selected the tarot deck and the oracle decks that I'm going to be doing for today's reading for you guys. And we're basically going to be seeing like what guidance does the universe have for our intentions during this new moon. So the cards that are the decks that I'm going to be using for this is my soul journey lessons cards. So we're going to get to see like what lessons are we going to get to experience, or what seeds that we might not even realize that we're going to unintentionally, subconsciously be planting during the next 6 months. Because remember, when it comes to new moons and full moons, this means since right now is a new moon in Pisces, 6 months or so from now, there will be a full moon in Pisces. So what, during the next 6 months of your life, what seeds do you want to plant for yourself? And if you guys still don't know, this card reading will definitely help us with that, okay? And we're also going to be using my Essential Oils Oracle deck along with, I love this deck I love, along with my Sacred Creators Oracle deck as well, okay? And my Good Tarot. So let us take a look together and see what guidance does the universe have for our intentions during this new moon. So what guidance does the universe have for our intentions, or what seeds are we being called to plant in this beautiful new moon in Pisces? What seeds as a collective are we being called to plant in this new moon in Pisces? What seeds are we being called to plant during this new moon in Pisces? Let's take a look together, beautiful souls. All right. We got 3 cards here, and this one's peeking out, so okay. I feel like it's for someone specific that's watching right now. I'm going to just point it to the camera. Cut the cords of doubt. Whoever's doubting right now, just do it. Okay? Stop doubting. Just do it. This is where you gotta trust, baby. Trust. All right? Okay. Let us take a look, and I'm trying to decide, do I want to do this in order? I'm just gonna flow. Okay. Let's shuffle this other deck, and then we'll reveal the cards that we got out so far for you, okay? So what seeds, the source, universe, whatever we all believe in. Okay, that was crazy. We're gonna take them. So we have multiple cards. This is beautiful. And let us get into it together. So for our essential oils cards, in terms of seeds that we are all being called as a collective to plant in this beautiful new moon in Pisces, we have, oh, this is beautiful. I don't know if you guys can see it, so I'm going to move up. Women's. With the triggered statement saying, I take control. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm sorry. I'm going to read it, okay? So it says soften. Trigger statement, I take control. With the true statement being, I am compassionate. Take a moment and allow yourself to see things from your heart center. From that place, allow your intuition to guide you. Guys, this is literally what New Moon in Pisces is all about. I literally was just going off in tangents about this. And how the heck did this card just plop out? I kid you not. This new moon is very freaking powerful. So take advantage, please. Plant your seeds, plant your intentions. Right now, literally almost all of the planets are literally in the sign of Pisces. Why would you not want to focus on planting seeds that have to do with a dream of yours when it has to do with something that you've always wanted to attain? Because I'm telling you guys right now, there is an alternate reality where you are living the dream life that you've always wanted for yourself, where you have everything you've ever wanted. But why can't this reality match that one? Ask yourself, what's the detachment there? What's the disconnection? Because in reality, it's usually always about frequency. But how can you get yourself to the right frequency is the question. And it's about releasing the things that are holding you back from attaining it. All right, sorry. I get very inspired here. Next up, for the next card, we have Beautiful Souls. It says reconnect with the keyword. with the trigger statement being, I need to escape. The true statement, I am present. Oh my God, all these cards are literally saying everything that is a Pisces quality. Okay, the root of the issue for you will make itself known. Be open to the information you receive from your body, mind, and the environment. Come on, like, guys, I kid you not. This is like kind of creepy. This is pretty creepy. Let's not, like, come on, like, this is, whoa, it's creepy. That's kind of cool. All right, let us keep going, beautiful souls. For the next essential oils card we have received for this beautiful new moon in Pisces collective reading in terms of what seeds we're being called to plant right now for ourselves, we have with the essential oil rosemary, with the keyword being wisdom. Trigger statement is, it doesn't make sense. With the true statement being, I see the bigger picture. You are moving towards a deeper level of understanding, from knowledge to wisdom. Take time to absorb the lessons. Oh my God. I feel like a lot of you guys listening to this went through some major personal breakthrough in your life recently. Whether it had to do with a shift that maybe you didn't even want to welcome into your life, or a shift that you chose to willingly. Regardless of what that shift was, beautiful soul, I just want to let you know, you got to breathe, okay? You got to breathe through it. Because anything that has happened to you up to this point in your life so far that you chose to not allow to happen, but it happened anyways, there is a reason for that, okay? There is a reason for that. It's just about trusting in the things that you don't understand right now. You might not have all the information in front of you just yet to make a clear decision. You might not even know where to go next. What matters is that you embrace the process, because life isn't about the destination, it's about the journey. And right now you're just being called to trust. If you're at a point in life where you have no clue where to go, where to turn to, like you don't know what you want to do, the reason for that is because this is the part in your life where you're not supposed to know just yet. You're just supposed to experience what it is to be human and be okay with the unknowingness. That's what it means to be human. We're not supposed to know everything, and we're supposed to be okay with that. Why can't you just let yourself live? Why can't you just let yourself be you and simply just be, period? Because that is what this new moon is trying to remind us of. That's where you can truly romanticize your life and experience everything that you want. All right. I almost lost myself there again. For the next card, you are light. Yes, you are, babe. You are literal beauty. And creator fire. Yep, like I said, we're all being called to just go manifest right now. We are all being asked to just go do the things that are making our heart like skip beats right now, or go follow the thing that scares you. The thing that scares you, it's only scaring you because it's new, it's different, it's exciting. Sometimes our own minds can't tell the difference between anxiety and excitement. So sometimes we'll get those intertwined with one another. But it's up to you to decide, am I really gonna let this one little emotion stop me from going to go take something or a step forward where my comfort zone, instead of being this small, it can actually get a lot bigger. But it's up to me to take that step. That's how you do this, and that's how we do this thing called life, right? But we're all learning it. No one's perfect, and let's continue. For the last two cards we have here when it comes to your oracle, we have with the essential oil being sage and the keyword being insight. Triggered statement is, there is no hope. The true statement is, there is a higher purpose. Connect with your higher self and allow to be guided to your higher purpose. As the veil of illusion falls away, you will find your answer. I actually think that this is calling you guys to do some sort of visualization practice. I feel like we're all being called to just really listen, like just listen very deeply to what's being told of us. I feel like we all have like a little like a whisper going on in our heads right now that we need to listen to, because it's really trying to give us some insight on something that I think we aren't really wanting to listen to, or maybe we're too in our heads to allow it to just come to us naturally. So we're all just being told to kind of breathe and let the answers come when they're ready to come. We can't force these breakthrough moments in our lives. They just happen, and we gotta just let them happen, you know? All right, and get back to elemental, which means you gotta ground yourself. Okay, if you feel like you've been stuck in your head for the last couple of days, like losing it. And when I say losing it, I mean like your anxiety has probably been like broke past the roof. It's because of what's going on in the sky, okay? We might feel like we're going a little bit cuckoo. I'm not gonna lie, I bet a lot of people that are watching this, or for the last couple of weeks at least, they have gone through some crazy massive breakthrough in their life or spiritual awakening of some kind. And when I say spiritual awakening, those things aren't asked for, okay? They just happen sometimes. It's like the second your nervous system gets a chance to like, I can breathe, all that shit just comes out of nowhere. Excuse my language, but you know what I mean? Because it really does suck. Like, it's not fun. It's a whole freaking tornado of just crap that gets spit all over you, and you're like, oh my God, like, what do I do with this? That's literally what spiritual awakenings feel like. So whoever ever says to you, spiritual awakenings, oh my God, like crystals, yeah, like this is a great time. No, it is not a great time. It is not fun. They can really, really suck, especially if you have no clue like when it's happening, why it's happening, what is all this trauma that I never dealt with, why is it coming up now? You know, sometimes it's just gonna come when you least expect it, when in the middle of being in school, when you're like, what the F is going on? Because that's what happened to me. And you just might feel like you're going bat SHIT crazy, which I also felt at the same time. If you guys did not watch my video on how to turn a crisis into a spiritual awakening, I share how I felt batshit crazy in that. So that's what I'm thinking about while I'm sharing this. That's why I shared it. All right. Whew. So, beautiful souls, let us now get into the final two decks we have here for you when it comes to this collective reading to finish it up before we dive into my little surprise visualization practice that I actually put together for and dedicated to the energy and essence of this new moon in Pisces and what it has to offer us, okay? So let us see, what soul lesson are we going to learn during the next 6 months? Let's see as a collective, what soul lesson are we all going to learn together? What is the theme during the next 6 months for us with this beautiful new moon in Pisces, guys? Let's see. Okay, we have 2 cards coming out. All right. I'm nervous. I don't know what it says. Let's see. Ooh, this one's intense. I'm not gonna lie. This one's pretty intense. Okay. Oof. It says blame. So, first soul lesson during the next 6 months, something to do with blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. Oof! For me, at least, that stings. That's always a hard thing to swallow, especially when we're getting lost in assuming. You know, assuming makes an ass out of you and me for a reason. You ever heard of that saying? Yeah, assuming, never assume. Always ask first. Ask the questions, try to understand, you know, don't just pick a fight because your brain's taking you down a story of trauma that you think this person's doing to you, when in reality it's just your own fears that are trying to tell you this is what's going to happen, when in reality it's not. And this is where the soul lesson can take us, okay? So just be prepared for the next 6 months. We are all probably going to be dealing with a lot of lessons or themes that have to do with blame. So again, I accept responsibility for my well-being, okay? Next up, for the last soul lesson for the next 6 months during this new moon in Pisces energy. Oh my gosh, this is another intense card. Why do we have so much intense energies and emotions coming up? What are you guys dealing with? Okay, I'm joking. I just love teasing. But we have envy. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. Oof. All right. I hope that these cards aren't backwards for you. If anyone can let me know in the chat, again, I did forget to mention, I suck. I have no clue how to use the chat. So if anyone has been trying to message me in there, I do not know how to like see it while I'm doing this stream. If anyone knows how, if you can let me know in the chat, and I will review the chat after the live, because that's the only way I've been able to see them lately, because I have no clue. I'm still learning this, okay? Because I'm not using YouTube to do this stream. I'm using Streamlabs. So I just wanted you guys to keep that in mind in case anyone has been trying to message. I just want to let you know, like, I'm so sorry. I send you so much unconditional love. If you know how to tell me how to do it, I will do it the next time, I promise, okay? All right. So last but not least, we got the tarot before we dive into this visualization, guys. So let us see. I have no clue how many cards are going to come out. I'm just going to trust and see what happens, okay? Because this is the new moon about trusting in the unknown. And I feel like surprises after surprises have been happening with this live stream so far. So I'm just like going with it. I'm going with the flow. Let's take a look. Ooh. 10 of Earth. Whoa, we got some like beautiful energies here, guys. Oh my gosh, my heart. Okay. This is like, I got goosebumps shooting up my arms right now, and I only get that when I'm like very connected. Okay. Give me 1 second. I need to like prepare myself before I even share this. Okay, this is like, I'm gonna try not to get emotional here. This new moon in Pisces is encouraging us to ask ourselves, what reality have I dreamt about embodying? What reality for myself do I see myself in, where I have everything I want, and why am I not able to get there now? What is stopping me? And what I mean by that question is not what is stopping you from maybe you don't have this or maybe you don't have that, but what do you have in here? Why is this stopping you? Because in reality, when we sometimes like we can ask people a question, right? And they're going to give you the most blasé and smart ass response, especially when it comes to why haven't you been able to get to the reality you always wanted for yourself? And they're usually going to tell us things like, because I don't have the money, because I can't do this, because I don't have a job, because the job I have gives me a shitty paycheck. When in reality, who the F cares what's going on the outside of you? But the real question is, and this is going to sting some people, the real question is, why are you still in those situations? Why are you still in the same old shitty job? Why do you not have the money? Because have you been pushing yourself enough? And a lot of people will always try to blame the things on the outside. We'll always try to pinpoint and say, it's because of this, it's because of that, it's because of here. But why not point at us? We tend to sugarcoat when we screw up in our life. But when other people we care about and we warn them that this is what's going to happen, we judge them so harshly and want to say, I told you so, the second we get an opportunity to. But why can't we do that for ourselves and our own personal growth journey? It seems like nowadays people are so much more focused on seeing everyone else succeed that isn't themselves. But why can't we put that much care and effort and attention into us? And with the tarot cards that came out for this new moon in Pisces, it's here showing to us, guys, I kid you not, the cards that came out are the best cards we could possibly get. We get the 10 of Pentacles, the 6 of Wands, the Death card, and the Page of Swords. And I have a feeling that tonight's visualization practice is going to encourage us all. I don't know. I feel like we're going to have some crazy downloads. I don't know. It just feels like this new moon is just really meant to help us all get closer to the reality we always wanted. I literally feel like we're all as a collective in some way, shape, or form ascending right now, and it's really beautiful to see this happening. I just feel like I'm so happy to be alive right now while this is happening in the world. So let us now, I'm gonna go take a bathroom break for like 2 minutes, 1 minute really quick because I have to use the bathroom. But if you would like, I would encourage you to get yourself settled, get yourself nice and comfortable, because the next thing in this new moon ceremony is we are going to start moving into the guided visualization practice I have prepared for you guys, okay? So if you want to get yourself comfortable, that's something I would encourage you guys to do. I'm going to give myself 1.5 minutes to go run to the bathroom really quick. But if you guys would like to be here during this, because we're going to be diving into some journaling prompts after, in terms of things that you can ask yourself and work with after the visualization practice is complete, then, feel free to stay. But I'm just going to use the bathroom really quick. So I encourage you guys to get yourself nice and comfortable, do whatever else you got to do to get yourself situated. I always encourage people when we do these visualizations I always personally feel like the best position to put yourself in is not seated upwards, because I want you guys to get to fully immerse yourself in the experience, and I feel like we can't really experience it fully if we're like not leaning back at least on something, So like I have the wall behind me and I'm gonna be lying back like this. I would encourage you guys to try to find a place where you can fully support your back side instead of just sitting up, because in reality, the meditation stance, like your back is going to start straining after a while. And I want you guys to deep dive into this experience, okay? So I will meet you back in a second and do what you got to do, okay? I'll be right back. Alright, I am back, and hopefully you guys have been able to get yourself nice and settled. So let us get this all set up, because I have papers literally everywhere. Alright. We have this all set up. Okay, awesome. So, if you haven't already, the invitation here is to get yourself nicely situated, nice and comfortable, and try to find a way where you can feel the most supported that you possibly can in this moment right now. Whether that means resettling yourself for a moment or two and just doing what you need to do in this moment to get yourself nice and relaxed. Maybe taking a nice deep inhalation, holding it at the top for a count of 3, 2, and 1. Exhaling it all out with an HA sound out the mouth, allowing the shoulders to melt a little bit closer to the earth beneath you. Maybe inhaling again, filling your belly with air, holding it at the top for a count of 3, 2, and 1. And again, exhaling it all out. Allowing yourself to surrender to the support of Mama Earth beneath you. Continuing to breathe at your own pace. The invitation here is to maybe even close your eyes. And if you don't feel comfortable closing your eyes, you can also keep your gaze a couple of feet in front of you with your eyes nice and soft. The whole focus here is to not think about or force anything, but to make this as effortless as possible for you. To connect to your third eye, to connect and put yourself in a nice state of mind in trance. So continuing to breathe at your own pace. Wherever you are, sinking deeper into your inner peace, to your center. And in today's visualization practice, I felt very much called to pull out my tuning forks. So as you continue to breathe in your relaxed state, I am going to play some tuning forks for you guys, and hopefully that will help connect more to the energy and get yourself nice and grounded and settled. So I'm going to be playing my root chakra tuning fork, my third eye chakra tuning fork, as well as my heart chakra tuning fork. So continuing to breathe. Continuing to breathe wherever you are. Maybe your eyes found themselves softly closed. I invite you to journey within and see what's inside your inner world right now. What colors are there? What's in there? What do you see? What do you feel? With no judgment, no criticism, no ego here exists. Just simply observe and pay thought to what's simply there. Perhaps you see a giant door and a walkway that leads you to that door. Maybe this door is so big that it's bigger than you, it's bigger than anything you've ever seen. You probably noticed that when you look up inside your inner world, you just keep seeing that door stretch up for miles and miles. And all of a sudden, this door opens right in front of your own very eyes. And it's inviting you to go in. You feel an energetic pull to enter inside this sacred room in your inner world. you don't really quite know what's in there yet, but you just feel like this pull of energy just saying, go inside, go inside. And so you enter. What does this room look like? Is there marble flooring? Is it white? Is it blue? Is it glowing? What does the inside look like of that room? As you continue journeying inside, you realize that it's not just a room, but it's a hall. And at the very end of that hall, you see something blue and glowing from the distance, but you can't quite put your finger on what that thing is. It's just glowing on the ground. And again, you feel that weird energetic pull inside you to just go walking down. Just keep walking down that hall until you get closer and closer to that glowing light at the end of that hall. And the closer you walk, the bigger that light on the ground down that hall becomes. And you're trying really hard to shape with your eyes what the heck is in front of me. And you're so curious. But eventually, you realize the glow, it's not just stagnant. There's actually movement there and rippling. And lo and behold, you start to realize that you're hearing this current of water in front of you. And it starts getting louder and louder as you approach this, what you now believe to be a body of water. You make it to the end of this hall and you are face to face with what's known as your inner world sacred pool. Now, this sacred pool holds the future, the past, the present, and everything else in between of your timeline. Alternate realities, anything you can think of, this pool holds. Whatever you've thought of, what your life would be like if ... how my life would be like if this didn't happen, whatever it was, all of that exists inside this sacred water. And as you get closer and closer, you start to see your reflection in there. But you start to also notice that your reflection isn't pure quite yet. It feels somewhat foggy and murky and doesn't sit right with you. It looks like you keep trying to move around in the water to see if your reflection can clear up, if you shift one way or turn another, but it's not working. And you're a little bit confused. You know that this is supposed to be a sacred pool inside your inner world. You know that this is supposed to show you the past, present, and future, and everything in between. But you're very confused why the reflection that you see staring back at you in that water isn't clear quite yet. And so you realize the reason why it's not clear is because of all the weight you're carrying that isn't yours to carry anymore. You're carrying layers of skin, layers of life, layers of experiences, lessons that you've already learned and that don't serve a purpose being trapped inside your mind any longer than it's already been. The second you make that realization, maybe a bunch of memories flash before your own very eyes. Maybe you get a recollection of different things that you know you don't want to or don't even need to have inside you anymore. You know that this isn't who you are anymore. You know that this isn't who you want to be anymore. Maybe these memories show you things about you that you're just tired of holding on to. You feel like they've lived their thing, they've done their service, and now it's time to let them go. Whatever that ends up being for you, the second you have that image of what you want to release in your head, and it's set, you start to hear the sacred waters call for you to enter. And so you go inside, and your first step inside that water feels warm and inviting and interestingly soft. It feels lighter in the water, and you don't really know how to explain it. It feels like you can breathe a little bit better the more each part of you enters farther in the water. And once you finally have everything from the neck down entered into that beautiful water, you now know it's time to fully immerse yourself in the sacred pool. And so you take a deep breath, holding on to that thing that you want to release, and go inside. And the lighter and lighter, literally like a feather, you become. You didn't realize how much you've been holding on to, burdens that weren't even yours to carry, maybe even people pleasing, or feeling like you were too much or not enough, and feeling guilty for wanting love. Maybe so many different things, or maybe just a mix of all the things I just listed. But as you hold your breath and stay in that water, you realize that, oh, you can actually breathe in there. The water is in your inner world. It's part of you. How are you not able to is the question. And you look at yourself, you're able to see under the water, and you look at your skin, you look down at your arms, and you see some glitter start to come off of your skin. And this glitter is like shimmering little scales that start to dissolve into the water. And you realize that all those little things, those glimmering iridescent scales, they were once part of you. They were once part of this story, of this narrative that you used to put in your head about what makes you you, or they used to even be the thing you revolved your entire identity around. But not anymore, starting today. You allow the shedding to begin within that water. As the water cleanses you and purifies you and makes you a blank new slate, gives you an opportunity to plant real seeds, make real change. So you can step into any version of yourself, any frequency, any future version of you that you can even want in your life. You're letting go of outdated beliefs, fears, old versions of yourself. Until you realize that the water wasn't just dissolving all these things that aren't serving you anymore, but you are also simultaneously being downloaded in this water as it charged you up to become the most healed version of yourself you can possibly embody. And without even realizing it, it reached 100%. And all you feel is so much love, so much compassion, and so much forgiveness towards yourself for being so hard on yourself after all this time. The water quietly whispers, "It's time. You're ready." And it feels like second nature. You automatically know what to do. As you're floating in the water at this point, you start to move your arms up and down to push yourself to the part where you can stand, the shallower end of the pool. Once you make it there, your feet make contact with the ground in the pool. You see a set of little steps, and you walk yourself up those steps, realizing the air feels just as warm as the water that you just came out of. And you realize now that the version of you that has entered the water versus the version of you that has stepped out of the water, they're not the same person. They're far different from each other. Who is this version of you? Who have you become? Is it a clearer, lighter, or more aligned future version of yourself? Only you know the answer to that. Whatever version of you has decided to emerge from that water, you carry it in your heart now. And you're ready to take a new step towards exactly what your dreams, the dreams that you want to accomplish in this lifetime. And with your hands over your heart, you say to yourself, I am ready, and this is who I am now. And you're fully integrating everything that water has provided you with. The death and rebirth, the phoenix rising from the ashes you have became through this process. And now you know you're ready to trust the flow of life again. I encourage you guys to slightly maybe deepen your breath here. As you continue to deepen your breath, maybe raise your shoulders at the inhale and lower the shoulders slightly down at the exhale. Maybe inviting some slight movements into the body. There may be some slight neck rolls. As you carry this transformation forward, as you deepen your breath, remember that you have officially stepped into a new version of yourself. And now you get to trust the process of life that unfolds beneath you. Before your own very eyes. So whenever you get a chance or whenever you feel ready to, I invite you to place your hands at your center and wherever your center may be. For me, it's my heart. Maybe for you, it's your belly. Maybe your hands don't feel comfortable being at a center, and that's fine too. You can place them by your sides. But wherever you're at, I invite you to give yourself thanks for showing up today, for connecting to Mama Moon through this new moon healing ceremony, for showing up for you to feel more connected to what you're made of, which is the sun, moon, and stars, babe. We have all the elements of the periodic table inside of us, and we gotta embrace that we are all the universe. Right here and right now, you are capable of so much more than you realize. This is just where you gotta trust. Whenever you get a moment or whenever you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. And I thank anyone who has joined in this visualization practice. It was an honor to be able to guide you guys through this process. And if you guys feel called to do some reflecting work when it comes to what we dove into, when it comes to this visualization practice, some journaling prompts you guys can look into after this ceremony is, if you want to reflect deeper, what vision of myself did I see in the water? What did I leave behind in the water? What am I free from now? And additional journaling prompts that I think we should all work on, whether you were here for the visualization practice or not, is what qualities or intentions do I want to embody moving forward? And if I trusted the flow of life completely, what would I do next with my life? I want to remind you guys to wrap up this healing ceremony that the new moon in Pisces is also encouraging us to connect to little rituals that we do for ourselves that help us connect to the bigger picture of life. Where in your life can you have more faith in yourself, and how can you practice showing up for yourself more in that way? For example, for me, one thing that I love doing that helps me connect more and makes me trust more is dancing. I love dancing, and I love dancing by myself, and I make it very special. I light candles, and I cover all the mirrors in the space that I choose to dance in, because I don't want to judge myself. I want to have absolutely no expectations when I dance, and I literally just let my body move and do whatever it wants to do in that moment, and I just flow. And that is when I feel the most connected to source. So what are little rituals, what are little activities, what are little things that you guys can do for yourself during the next 6 months that helps you connect deeper to that inner knowing that you know is there, but maybe you have trouble listening to or even maybe trusting in? And I do want you guys to keep in mind that everything that we dove into today, this is stuff that you guys can reflect on, especially during the next 5 days. When it comes to moons and cycles and stuff and their energy potency, the energy of this new moon is going to last us for the next 5 days, okay? So you guys have some time to look into this stuff. Now, to close up this beautiful ceremony, I wanted to share the affirmation for today. And the affirmation, I came up with it. I was sitting on it and I was like, really, what affirmation should we close this new moon in Pisces healing ceremony with? And so I came up with, I flow with ease into the next chapter of my life, knowing I am always supported. I'm going to repeat it 2 more times, okay? So we can all set that intention together. I flow with ease into the next chapter of my life, knowing I am always supported. I flow with ease into the next chapter of my life, knowing that I am always supported. So it is, and so it shall be. Namaste. The light in me sees and honors the light in each and every single one of you that decided to show up to this healing ceremony. I send you guys so much unconditional love. It was an absolute honor to be able to do this ceremony for you guys, and I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your evening. Definitely take some time to honor that inner knowing in you today. I know that sounds weird, but really it can be as simple as doing some journaling and see what your inner world has to share with you. You might be surprised what you guys find. Have a beautiful night. Bye.